What did you do as a child that you hid from your parents? When I was in 5th grade, my family moved to this tiny town where everything was spread out like crazy. Our new house was nice, but the school bus stop was literally over a mile away. And I'm not talking about a nice walk through the neighborhood. I had to cross 2 busy roads where trucks would fly by going like 50 miles per hour. My parents sat me down the first week and said I could walk to the bus stop by myself once I learned the route properly. They drove me there for 3 days, pointing out landmarks and making me repeat back the directions. But honestly, I was terrified of that intersection. Plus, I was the laziest 11-year-old on the planet. So I came up with what I thought was genius plan. Every morning, I'd put on my backpack, grab my lunch, and walk out the front door like normal. My parents would wave goodbye from the kitchen window. But instead of heading toward the bus stop, I'd walk exactly 2 blocks down to this empty lot that had been for sale forever. There was this tall wooden fence covered in vines, and behind it was the perfect hiding spot. I'd stashed a plastic tub back there with snacks, comic books, and my Nintendo DS. Sometimes I'd even bring a blanket. I had my parents' work schedule memorized. Dad left at 7:45 sharp every morning. Mom left at 8:15. So I'd hang out in my secret fort until about 8:30, then sneak back home through our back gate. The best part? I knew where my parents hid the spare key. I'd let myself in, lock the door behind me, and boom, I had the whole house to myself. For almost 3 months, I lived like a king. Xbox all day, whatever snacks I wanted, and I could watch whatever shows I felt like. I kept the volume low so the neighbors wouldn't get suspicious. I even flushed the toilet every hour or so to make it sound like someone was actually home doing normal stuff. When the school called asking about my attendance, I'd answer the phone and fake this really convincing cough. "This is Jake. I'm super sick today. My mom's at work, but she said I could call in." I'd even make my voice all scratchy and pathetic. The school secretary always bought it. "Feel better soon, honey?" I thought I was untouchable. I had snacks, video games, and 0 homework stress. It was literally the perfect crime. Then parent-teacher conferences happened. I was in my room playing Mario Kart when I heard my mom's car pull into the driveway way earlier than usual, like 6 p.m. instead of her normal 7:30. I quickly turned off the Xbox and jumped into bed, pretending I'd been napping. She came upstairs looking weird, not angry, just confused. "Jake, honey, Mrs. Peterson asked me something strange tonight. She wanted to know if you'd transferred to a different school." My stomach dropped to the floor. "She said you've been marked absent for 42 days straight. She was worried something had happened to our family." The room went dead quiet. I could hear my heartbeat in my ears. Mom sat down on my bed. "Jake, have you been going to school?" I tried to play dumb. "What do you mean?" "Yeah, of course I go to school." "Then why does your teacher think you moved away?" That's when everything fell apart. I started crying and told them the whole story about being scared of the intersection and hiding behind the fence. I even showed them my secret stash of snacks and comics. My dad just stood there shaking his head. 42 days, Jake. 42 days you've been lying to us." The punishment was legendary. Grounded for 2 months. No Xbox, no TV, no Nintendo DS. I had to walk to the bus stop with my dad every morning for the rest of the school year. Plus, I had to do extra chores to learn responsibility. But honestly, even with all that punishment, those 3 months were still the best staycation I ever had.